I think of myself as a post-digital painter, and I'm very much collaging images as I encounter them, either physically in print but mostly online, because we mostly think of how many images you encounter every single day online. And that's where a lot of the images I'm referencing in this comes from. Like just here, this is a picture of Chloe Sevigny at a Halloween party. Another good one, that one up there is a repatriated piece of a bronze mask or portrait of a ruler that the Met sent back to Nigeria in 2015 that I saw when I was going backwards through Art Forum because I was looking at repatriation, which is a really recurring theme in my work. I like a surreal imagined interior. Obviously, it's pretty clear, pretty influenced by surrealism, and the wallpaper is just a signifier I use to show that you're looking into an interior space. The windows, specifically like the cathedral, looking slightly arabesque, wacky, Gothic, you can apply a lot of ways to them. Windows was a play on like Microsoft Windows and opening a window in a browser, literally, because I think of like in that example with the repatriated bronze, there's two icons in the top, file and save. Oh. Imagine you're looking at a desktop.
I love collage artists. You know, you could be cutting and pasting things. So what makes you want to paint these things?
Because painting forces it into the art historical canon and forces it to engage with the art historical canon. And painting, I feel, rewards sustained attention in a way that sometimes digital art doesn't immediately, because when you see a painting, you think of how long, you subconsciously or consciously consider how long it took to make the piece. I started like 3 or 4 months ago. It ended up being it's a painting of the Black Sphinx, and there's some funky little artifacts around her, most of which are actually archaeological finds from Novgorod, which is a town in Russia, as most of you probably realize I'm half Russian. And it's just like a weird, conflicted, miserable feeling about the war in Ukraine, typified as like earth on fire and like this like horrible looming doom. And the chess pieces, I think, and that long figure is Perun, who's like a pre-Christian Russian Slavic pagan deity of thunder. And I thought it'd be fun to throw in some Russian archaeological artifacts, because so often the ones I reference are African. And there's often the assumption that these are like African artifacts. I'm like, no, they're little chess pieces from Novgorod in the year 1100. And that archaeology can turn its face away from the global south sometimes, but it was like a kind of sentimental, sad take on the brutality of war. And then like living in the US, I feel like I have the option to be indifferent to it, which is just looking at my fingernails. It's my hand up there.
There's something about like that the ghosts and the skeletons that are present in your work, that they kind of like mount guard, and is that how we say it?
They stand guard over.
Stand guard, yeah. Is that how you feel? Like I really like that. I don't know.
It's definitely constantly calls back to history, and it's like bearing witness to something. I don't necessarily know what, but the ghosts and the skeletons, if they're doing anything, they're looking over or representing how history haunts us, and like everyone's history haunts them. I think that's why I'm so fixated on like particularly African artworks like repatriation back home.